So how is the listener?
The listener's good. It's been a great time. It's been a long process. You know, we're into episode 10 out of 13 now, and it's been a blast. You know, we just got Colin Fiore and Gordon Pinsent added to the cast, which is really cool. And you're shooting downtown Toronto in the middle of December. It's great. No, I mean the whole run has been fantastic. Just shooting in Toronto and having the show be set in Toronto is one of the coolest parts of being on the show too. You know, so many times Toronto is LA or New York or Chicago or Seattle or Portland or whatever, and Boston. Things from Boston, but it's nice for it to be Toronto. You know? So, yeah. Do
you think that's a progression now? Finally, that Toronto is finally being able to play itself. That
it looks like it. I think
growing up
with Flashpoint and our show both being set in Toronto, and I think that's sort of a starting trend of a bunch of new shows here. Just 202 is a very busy office. You know, it looks like a lot of shows are going to be set here now, and hey, why not? It's a good city, good size.
Tell me about your character.
I'm going to tell you about my character. Oz Bey is a young Turkish Canadian, like myself, who is the partner of Toby Logan, who plays. They're both paramedics. They came up through the academy together, and they're in their first year as paramedics. And Oz is a pretty good friend of Toby, and when he doesn't know about his powers, he's helping him out, and then when he finds out, he sort of becomes his partner, sort of his wants him. Could we hold the work, please? He's a pretty impulsive guy. I think he doesn't really. He's also like way better looking than me, which is weird to play because it's hard to play more attractive than you are. But he definitely thinks he's better looking than he is, which allows him to like really have a lot of confidence with women. And also I think being a paramedic, you have to really have a certain kind of balls to do your job well, and you have to trust your instincts, whereas I'm constantly doubting every choice I make in the world, except, you know, when I'm playing other people. I can portray other confident people, but myself it's no.
Fair enough. What do you do?
Well, I think the way the script is, Oz is he just sort of leaps into anything, and he's very, he's a good friend of Toby, and he doesn't overthink things, and he sort of takes the plunge when he needs to. And whether it's, it's trusting your partner as a medic, and sometimes we get into stuff we're not supposed to that may be outside the law, but it's always, it's based on trust and faith in Toby's power. And I think that it's just a matter of just leaping into action. If you look at paramedics, like we did some training with paramedics,
right?
And the thing I learned the most about them was just outside of the technical stuff, just their demeanor is fascinating, because you have to think about what medics do for a living. They see some of probably the worst things anybody sees on the job, and they have to be able to compartmentalize it and look at it like it's a job, as opposed to seeing someone with, for their brain exposed or whatever it might be. It's nice. I really brought the energy down on that one. The tone made it really serious there. So I think that the natural inclination for most people is when they see danger to run away from it. So medics have to go towards it. So that's definitely a shift, in day-to-day life. So I think that alone is sort of differentiates someone who works in healthcare in this way from civilians.
So now, what do you think of the fact that there is a lot of cop stuff out there? How is the listener going to differentiate itself from
Well, there's not a cop show per se, which is great. I think there's
well, that's true. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say.
There are a lot of cop shows out there. Not that they're bad, it's
no.
great. But CSI Hamilton, I wasn't a big fan of, but I could do better than Hollywood. Not that there aren't a lot of cop shows out there, but I think once they put CSI into like Schenectady, then you got what's like the
Moose Jaw. Come on.
Well, I was trying to go American. The show's on NBC. I got to rep the states. But yes, CSI Moose Jaw. I actually made a joke about CSI New Brunswick in a movie I shot like 6 years ago. It wasn't my line. I didn't write the line.
Hey, there was a guy, an axe murderer in New Brunswick. Not long ago,
on
too.
The bus? Is that the guy on the bus?
No, not on the bus.
Okay.
That was Alberta, or
It's dangerous out there.
It is.
No disrespect intended, obviously. Oh my God, I've so gone off the rails. So, you asked me about cop shows. There are a lot of cop shows out there, but the list is not a cop show per se.
Yeah.
And in terms of being different, I think what's great is that this has sort of paramedic procedural stuff. It's set in a hospital. There's a lot of hospital drama. And the relationship between Dr. Fawcett, Olivia Fawcett, and Toby, they're exes, so there's a lot of tension there. And then there's the police procedural stuff, and then there's also this sort of overarching, sort of hero intrigue business. So there's a lot of different elements that I think stand out. Some shows will focus more on the police procedure stuff, and some shows will do more in the hospital, and some shows will just be out in the street with you,
Right.
as off the job trying to save lives and help people. So there's all kinds of stuff.
Cool. And what's the best part so far?
Best part, well, I did mention that we had a pasta bar today.
Absolutely.
They did train me to drive an ambulance, which is pretty awesome. But I would say, I mean, it'd be nicer if I ran into more ex-girlfriends, so I could be like, "We're in Toronto, right?" So they could be, I was like, "Oh, I can't. Sorry, you look great. Yeah, but I got to go back and shoot this TV series that I'm the lead in. Yeah, I mean, a lead in, not the lead, but I got to go." But it looked, the paramedic uniform, I cleaned up pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, but getting to drive an ambulance was pretty cool. Actually, they took me out to Dixie Mall, drove around in the parking lot, and played with the siren.
That's the only place they'd let you. Is that it?
Well, when I was starting, it was better for there not to be any real cars or people around.
True.
It's a big rig, that thing.
It'd be a bad thing if an ambulance was in an accident.
Yeah. Well, there's certain things I've done on the show that I've never done in my career so far. Like even,
Right.
doing stuff with the camera car, the car that tows you while you're fake driving. I always wondered how they did that. I know. So once I smoke some fake cigarettes and get fake shot, then I'll know everything you need to know. That people, behind the scenes stuff. It's
We
pretty
can
exciting.
only hope you get fake shot
Fake
this
shot
season.
and I smoke a fake cigarette.
I'll cross my fingers for
That'd be
you.
great. I'd love to do like a scene like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's
Is
awesome.
there anything else you'd like?
Anything else you can tell me before?
I'm contractually obligated not to tell you when I think the show's coming out, because we don't know. No,
We'll take a guess.
kidding.
We'll take a dart.
no, but
And,
it will be out in 2009, which is next year.
excellent. By the time this is aired, this will be 2009.
It'll be out this year. Yeah, and the Raptors probably just won play their first round of the playoffs, and they're going to the second round. And go Raptors, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Ennis.
thank you very much.